Hello and welcome to Tell the People, a program about our Catholic faith with news and information in and around the Catholic Diocese of Lafayette. I'm Stephanie Bernard. In today's show, Trista Littell interviews Ed Bustani about dealing with holiday stress, while the Michael Champine's talk is about the fifth commandment in the segment, What It Means to Be Catholic. And in a conversation with Bishop Michael Gerald, Monsignor Richard Green interviews Bishop Gerald about Catholics Come Home ads. And now, Catholic news on this December 18th weekend. Young men and women of college and high school age, is God calling you? You're invited to attend a Day of Recollection on December 21st from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Our Lady of Sorrows Retreat Center, 420 North Main Street, St. Martinville, Louisiana. The day will address questions about various forms of consecrated life in the church, as well as offering help in discernment. There is no fee for the day and no registration necessary. Participants are asked to bring a brown bag lunch. For more information, call Father Michael Champagne at 394-6550 or email him at fatherchampagne@yahoo.com. St. Leo, the Great Catholic Church, located at 300 West Alexander Street in Lafayette, has announced to the public that Christmas caroling will be sung in the church with the choir on Christmas Eve from 3 to 4 p.m., followed by the Vigil Mass for Christmas. Everyone is invited to attend. The 6th annual Priests vs. Seminarians basketball game will be held on Wednesday, December 28th inside the Opelousas Catholic High School gym. The game is set to start at 6 p.m. and all are invited to come out in support of the Lafayette Diocesan Priests, the Running Rebs, and Seminarians Slamming Sims. Concessions will be available on the premises. Please come and support our local priests and seminarians. The Christmas season is once again nearly here, and people have already begun their holiday plans and preparations. Traditionally, this is a time to celebrate the love of family, which includes all of our brothers and sisters throughout the Catholic Church. To remind us all of this, the Lafayette Diocese is promoting its annual Come Home for Christmas message in all church parishes throughout the area. Billboards promoting the message of God's love will appear in various locations throughout the diocese. Personal letters of invitation will be mailed out directly to many of those who are in need of reminders that the Catholic Church is still their home. Active Catholics are encouraged to participate in the program by reaching out to those who have strayed from their faith and inviting them to attend Christmas Mass with their families and loved ones during this special time of the year. All men who are potentially interested in participating in the permanent diaconate program are reminded that they must seek the approval of their local pastors before they are able to proceed with the process. Now is the time that a man should meet with his pastor and discuss his interest in the program if he intends to proceed to the inquiry phase in February. Men who are interested in the diaconate formation program are also encouraged to visit the diocesan website at www.diolaf.org. The diaconate section, located under the offices tab of the main page, can provide much more in-depth information on the overall process. Additional questions may also be directed to Deacon Jim Kinsel, Director of the Office of the Permanent Diaconate. He may be contacted by telephone at 735-9433 or email at jkinsel@diolaf.org. Coming up next, Trista Littell interviews Ed Bustani about dealing with holiday stress.
I'm Bishop Michael Gerald. The Beatitudes in the Gospel of Matthew speak directly to the heart of the bishop's services appeal. The appeal funds services to the poor in spirit, those who mourn, and those who seek justice. And blessed too are you, the merciful, who give so generously to the appeal, so that others may find the peace and mercy of Christ in their lives. Please give a gift to the Bishop's Services Appeal this year. Thank you.
Welcome to Inside the Diocese. I'm Trista Littell, and with me here today is a very important person with the Diocese of Lafayette's Office of Justice and Peace, the Director, Ed Bastani. Hi, Ed.
I'm doing well, Trista. How are you?
Doing great.
Good.
We're going to be talking about the holiday and holiday stress today.
Yes.
Can you tell people some signs of stress that people might have during this time, ways to recognize it?
Sure. You know, we've just entered into Advent, and even prior to this past weekend, we saw a very early onset of the Christmas season, the holiday season. Even before Halloween, you know, we'd see Christmas decorations. And so it manifests, the signs of stress can manifest in a lot of different ways. It can be an anxiety from, you know, feeling there's so much to do and so little time, or to get an early start. But in different people, you know, the signs are very different. Some people show anxiety, some people show sadness, some people actually can be very angry, and then some people can just be really excited, almost like an abnormal type of excitement. You know, it's kind of like a hypersensitive kind of excitement about the season, to where they just get so caught up in it, you know, that they live in a constant state day to day of just tremendous excitement over. So it can really be a broad spectrum of signs and symptoms related to holiday stress.
Well, what can one do to overcome the stress, Ed?
Well, overcoming stress, there are really two aspects to pay attention to. That's the personal and the spiritual. And the personal is real practical ideas and suggestions. It's taking care of yourself, you know, physically, making sure you get enough sleep, make sure you plan ahead for everything that you want to do, so you don't have that anxiety enter in. Make sure that you eat well and that you exercise. Make sure that you spend time with family. Sometimes we get so caught up in the busyness of trying to get everything done that then we feel like we're not around those that we love, and that absence can create more anxiety and more stress. So those are some practical suggestions. But of course, there's always the spiritual side. The whole reason for Christmas is Christ and Jesus. And so we need to keep our focus primarily on that spiritual aspect, the true purpose and reason for the holiday. And we need to stay rooted in that with our spiritual life. You know, daily prayer, regular Mass attendance, reception of the sacraments with reconciliation, are certain devotions that we may keep, or certain devotions that we may want to start or begin during the holiday season to kind of fend off or counterbalance all those added anxieties that come with the holiday. You know, creating a new devotion over the holiday season can add a certain amount of peace. And then, of course, you know, with the holiday, a large aspect of it is the gift giving. And a great amount of peace can come from remembering those that are less fortunate and trying to provide for them, whether it's a person who's poor, or a person who's incarcerated, or a person who has a certain illness, or someone who may be living alone now, elderly. There are lots of opportunities to help those. And rooting our assistance and our desire to help those in need can often create a tremendous amount of peace within us that no material aspect of the holiday can ever fulfill.
And I think when you said praying and then being rooted in the present moment and really realizing the tremendous blessings that are all around us and not missing those moments because we're so anxious.
That's true. You know, to me, one of the greatest identifiers of holiday stress, and whether or not we cope with it well or not, is the after effects. You'll see a lot of people after Christmas has passed. You know, one of the most saddening things that I've ever heard is people say, "I'm glad it's over." But that's just a sign that they didn't handle the holiday well. Some people are sad that it's over. Instead of being joyful that Christmas has come and that Jesus has come, when you see the joy in people, you recognize that they really approached it from a spiritual context and position in their life, and they have a much more balanced feeling approach, and they really make it through the holiday season much better.
Ed, what are some other areas of difficulty that people might face in their lives?
Well, the holiday season can lead to some struggles with the recurrence or the bringing up, of things that have happened in a person's past, and most especially the loss of a loved one. We miss those people that we love that are no longer with us during the holiday. And so that's probably the most common, but certainly, there are other things, there might be tragedies or difficulties that people have experienced in their families or with themselves in past holidays, and so that, that can foster itself as well over the holiday season.
What else can you offer the public in overcoming stress?
Well, like I said, I tend to believe that the greatest balance or stress reliever is a strong faith life and approaching it from that aspect. In addition to the personal aspects of our faith, we have to have the social aspects of our faith, and that's looking out and caring for others. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. It can be working in diners and soup kitchens. It can be giving food baskets to people that are in need. My office has a couple of programs. The most significant is our Child Smile program, where people can donate gifts to our office, and then we have a Christmas party and we distribute those gifts to the children of parents or who have adults or a mother or father who are incarcerated. We make sure those children aren't forgotten. But there's a multitude of ways out there, either through the diocese or through their local church parishes, of helping others. And I think most people will get the most gratification and really feel the truest sense of the holiday spirit through those types of gestures.
And not missing Christ every day in His coming in
That's
the
right.
people that we encounter.
That's right. That's right. Remembering that Jesus is coming and Jesus is with us in each other, and recognizing that and giving those gifts of self to each other.
Thank you for being here today, Ed. Some great tips for overcoming stress and not missing the blessings of the Christmas season. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, folks, for being with us today. Stay tuned. There's more to come on Tell the People.
Thank you, Trista and Ed. Coming up next, Father Michael Champine's talk is about the fifth commandment in this segment, what it means to be Catholic.
Good morning, and welcome back to Tell the People, to our special series on what it means to be Catholic. We welcome all of our viewers today, both on television and via internet, and we welcome you back to our continuation of a study of the Ten Commandments, about our moral life, or better yet, as Christians, life in Christ, about how we ought to live so that we might participate in God's life, give glory to Him now, and then to be happy with Him forever in eternity. And we've been looking at the Ten Commandments, and we're now on that second tablet which has to do with our neighbor, beginning with honor your father and your mother, the fourth commandment, and now we're looking at the fifth commandment, thou shalt not kill. This particular commandment has great significance for our reflection, particularly now during Advent season, as we prepare for the mystery of the Incarnation, of God the Word becoming a little embryo, the divine embryo, we could say, in Mary's womb, and the preservation, the dignity of that life, and the importance of preservation of that life, the great mystery of the life that's gifted from God, natural life, and how our justice toward one another demands that we respect the innocent lives of others. In the delineation from the book of Exodus, in chapter 20, verse 13 of the book of Exodus, we have simply, you shall not kill. Other translations render it, you shall not murder, which is a qualification which is presented later in the book of Exodus by the Word of God about speaking about innocent life, innocent human life, and it doesn't blanket keep us from duck hunting, for example, or fishing and human life, animal life, but nonetheless, even they